and you're not muted. Triple check that.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, glad to see I'm not muted for a change. That's always good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I keep fighting with myself. Like, every day, I'm like, do I just mute Jay through the entire stream every week, or what?
Yeah, let me just think I'm chatting away, and in reality, no one can hear a thing I've got to say. The community would probably prefer that, let's be honest.
Ouch. There'd be one guy in chat that ruins it for us all, though. You know, you'd have to get everyone in on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be a funny, like, April Fool's joke for, like, a little bit, at least.
Sort of like that idea we had when I was joining the show, where we just weren't going to tell anyone. I was just going to be there, and we were just going to carry on as normal.
Oh, yeah, we should have done that, actually. I really regret not doing that, looking back. Oh boy. Hello all you early birds. How does the audio sound?
Yeah, good evening folks. Welcome to Top Clack.
Oh, okay. I think I'm fully set up.
Excellent.
I think things are gonna go smoothly this week, and we're not gonna have any problems at all. It's gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna be a good show.
Yeah. I also keep forgetting it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I have some nice Valentine's background stuff going on now. There we go. At the request of Mr. Petrov. And good cheer with the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate that, man.
Geo is streamed out. Top Clack, Overwatch League, and hockey.
Wow.
Well, you know, if you weren't Canadian, you could cut at least one of those out.
Yeah, just be British and cut all of them out.
Wow. But you're on Top Clack right now.
Yeah, but the EU community don't watch us live typically. There's very few
That's
that do.
True, yeah.
That's what I was more referring to.
Positive vibes from 159. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We like positive vibes here, despite popular belief. We're just, as usual, live a little bit early. Make sure everything is A-okay to let people roll in here, you know, kind of at their own pace.
For sure. Yeah.
So we're just chilling for a couple minutes before we officially start. Poopzag, Twitch Prime sub 8 months in a row. Thank you very much for that. Evening, chaps, says Mr. Petrov. Evening.
Good evening
as well.
And Mr. Petrov, this is just for you in the background. This lovely cherry blossom stuff.
Yeah, I recall in the Discord, Mr. Petrov said he was going to be watching Top Clack over dinner.
Yeah, Valentine's Day dinner.
Valentine's Day dinner with you know, his wife or girlfriend, and that's I don't know how much she might appreciate that, but you know, shout outs to Mrs. Petrov. Hopefully we don't take all of his time tonight.
Poochak saying, creams are so good. Yes, I would agree. I kind of like my creams.
Yeah, creams are pretty good. Pretty good.
And Talisman Solutions opening the show with his traditional 1,111 bits, extending his lead at the top of the bits table. So thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that, dude.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. Gentlemen, ladies. Yep. I'm sure, you know, as in typical Top Clack fashion, we have tons of ladies watching tonight, especially on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Top Clack can be your Valentine. Have you ever thought about that? Like
Wow.
Jay and myself, we're a very very handsome strapping young gentleman. We can be your Valentine. So shout outs to all of you ladies out there that could use a top clack Valentine. All right, come on, Discord bot, where you at?
Yeah, it took nearly 20 minutes when I was streaming on Sunday for it to pop up. So
it's like a coin flip on how long it takes every single time.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be 2 minutes. Sometimes it can be 30 minutes. It's one of those things. Gio saying he'd spoon up to Brian with a rom-com. Nice.
The rom-com? No, spooning I'm cool with. Rom-coms, maybe not so much. I guess it depends on what... I don't know. I don't like most rom-coms.
It depends on which actress is in the rom-com for me. That's what makes or breaks that film.
Oh, just the actress too, not even the
just the actress. Yeah.
Okay, so only females matter to you, Jay. All right. Let's see how this works. Yeah. I'll see myself out.
Yeah, can you put an address next week?
Will it get us more views?
Seeing some of the Twitch streams I've seen, probably so. Yeah.
I'll shave. I'll put on some makeup. Bam! Twitch front page, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Talisman says, "Just what I need: the opportunity to be disappointing by an entire new entity." Wow.
Wow.
Oh, feels bad, man. Feels bad, but we got you, brother. Got you. Fist pound. Happy Valentine's Day to all my bros too.
Yeah.
Oh man, the bot must be sick today. It's been like 10 minutes.
Yeah, nearly 10 minutes. Yeah.
I don't know, bot. I don't know. What do we pay you for? What do we pay you for? Maybe it's because we don't pay the bot.
Yeah, we need to have a look at the bot.
Just at everyone? I can't do that because then everyone loses their minds.
Yeah, and then you get another one when the bot does finally pay.
Exactly, yeah.
5 minutes, and then you log back into Discord after doing the show, and you see that you've got like 40 different messages about people playing.
Yeah, low key, I get like frightened on Discord when like I have to like for a build stream if I have to stop it and restart it for something, so the bot like might ping twice. I'm like, man, people are gonna PM me and be furious. Like it happens almost every time. I get at least 1 or 2 PMs. People are like, hey, like don't do that, and I'm like, what do you like? Yeah. What do you want from me? Like, first of all, you're in a Discord that, revolves around Top Clack as a content creation studio. Like, like, the worst part is, like, you can change it. Like, you don't want to get pinged for that. All you have to do is check the little box that says, don't ping me for, here and everything, or whatever, everyone. So, I don't know.
Zekin is saying we should write our own bot to run the chat more often than Meeseeks. Yeah, looking at the bot is something I want to do for both Nightbot for on the streams and for the Discord. It's something that Gio and I have talked about. We will get round to it. It's just finding the time to do it.
Yeah, I think I put Nightbot on Twitch already. I just haven't added any custom commands yet. But yeah, we definitely need to work on that. It could be smoother. I know the Meeseeks bot isn't the greatest solution for a lot of things, but it's what we're doing right now. Holy crap, this bot is late. I guess we just don't even wait for the bot. We should probably just officially start now, since we're already 6 minutes past. Oh, there we go.
No, there it was. Literally as you said it.
Speak of the devil. All right, I'm going to roll the intro screen real quick. Alright guys, welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. I am your host, Quakums. I'm here with my co-host, the beautiful and lovely Jay, my Valentine for today. And today, like I just mentioned, Valentine's Day. So it's February 14th here in the US. It might be in the future for some of you if you're like Jay.
Yeah, it's the 15th now, so you've missed being my Valentine, really, Brian.
No!
But I'll be yours. I'll be yours.
That's so kind of you. That's so kind of you. All right, so as usual, we do have some keyboard stuff to talk about today, guys, and we do have a guest for a little bit later. So stay tuned for that. We will end with a Q&A like we always do, and we're going to talk a little bit about Mecha Madness today as well.
Yes, absolutely. Lots on the agenda and lots to talk through today. So pay attention, folks. It's going to be a good ride.
So in traditional format, we'll start out with a little bit of a mail call, which will be really, really easy for me this week because I have absolutely nothing. But, you know, Jay, being the baller that he is, will.
Yeah, I've got a few things. First of all, some nice, simple little artisans came through this week. So I got two nice little key pourers from the Hyperfuse Origins sale. So they're going to look absolutely stunning on a build soon. Additionally, just today, I finally managed to pick up a set of GMK Red Samurai. So that's going to go on the J01 when I do the J01 build on stream in a couple of weeks, because Beep has now finally confirmed that he's going to ship the gaskets for me. So they should be here next week as well, and then I can do the build possibly a week on Sunday. And then the only one that's a bit of a talking point really is Store Uni reached out to me last week, and we know there's been all sorts of talk about their lubes on the market. They've actually sent me a new product, which is Krytox GPL 205 grade 0S. So I've just been having a chat with them about this. They've sent me 5 grams of it. Apparently it should be smoother and easier to apply than grade 0 is on its own. So I'm going to give it a bit of a test out on stream on Sunday, and we'll see what we think.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that's this week. Yeah.
That'll be cool. You know, on a note on that, I really hate working with 205 grade 0. It's like, it feels like glue to me. It's really sticky. Yeah,
it can be. If you get too much on your brush and you start to put it in the switch or something like that, it can be quite loopy and difficult to work with. It has to be a really fine layer, I find, with 205. But this does look like it's a little bit of a different consistency. So I'm interested to try it out. So we're doing that live on stream on Sunday when I do the Key Cult number 160 build for Tronics. So we'll be doing the build and we'll be looking at the lube on Sunday afternoon.
Looking at the lube, all right. Too bad we can't look at more lube on Valentine's Day today, but you know, the show must go on. So we're gonna hop right into our news doc here, which is not terribly long this week, but we will have more stuff going on after that. So stay tuned either way.
Yeah, and the first thing that we want to talk about today is something that Dixie Mech is running, which is called Mecha Madness. So I'm going to paste the link into chat now for you guys to have a look at this. There we go. And I think Brian's got a few bits and pieces he wants to talk about on this one.
Yeah, I actually didn't have it queued up because I'm terrible. I totally forgot. But I didn't have it, like, so I have a browser that has all of the news and like sponsors on it and stuff, and I just, you know, I skip through them as we go. And I totally forgot to add Mecha Madness to this. All right, so you guys probably are already aware of what Mecha Madness is, but if you're not, we're gonna give you a little bit of a rundown. So Mecha Madness 2019 is hosted by Dixie Mech, nice guy, Garrett over there. And he kind of wanted to do a March Madness themed tournament, I guess you could say, keyboard style. So if you're not familiar with March Madness here in the U.S., I think it's a college basketball bracket style tournament. Really, really big event. A lot of basketball fans really into that kind of thing. And he kind of wanted to bring his love for that over here to the keyboard world. So with that, he presents Mecha Madness 2019. And here's the way it works. So it's a head-to-head showdown to determine the best of the best. There are 2 brackets, one for key sets, one for keyboards. All designs are from 2018, so it's all kind of last year's stuff that's already actually out. So you earn points for correctly predicting who you think the public chooses in each matchup until you eventually have a winner. So it's a big bracket-style system. Points for correct guesses double each round. So round 1, if you get one of those right, you get 1 point. Round 2, you get 2 points. Round 3, you get 4 points. Round 4, you get 8 points. And round 5, you get a whopping 16 points. So you can still kind of falter a little bit towards the beginning there, and you can still kind of catch up and make it, depending on how things go. The highest scorers at the end will earn prizes. There are a lot of sponsors for this event and a lot of really cool prizes. So pretty awesome stuff. It's obviously free to enter and everything. It's a really fun community event to kind of get people involved and some fun prizes to win. So the brackets are open now, and they have been open for several days now. You can check those out at the link that Jay posted there in the Mecha Madness 2019. And the brackets close February 28th, 10 p.m. CST, so the end of this month. And then once March starts, we move on to the actual tournament portion, which will actually be completely done on the Dixie Mech Instagram stories. That's where you'll go to see. That's where you'll vote. And then each poll will be open for 24 hours. That's each round, basically. Each matchup, I guess you could say. And then the championship rounds are March 31st, so the end of March. So the thing spans the entirety of March, which is pretty darn awesome. There's a schedule on the landing page here as well. So pretty awesome stuff here. Can't wait.
And
sorry, go on.
I'm going to say we've already filled our brackets out. We've already had a good go at this and spent a bit of time talking about it. So it's looking good fun. I won't let you know who I've picked to get right through to the end, but there's a lot of tough choices in there. Some of the choices are harder in the early brackets, and they get easier as you go. And others are the other way around. They get harder as you go through. It's bizarre, but it's good fun. It's good fun just spending half an hour picking those out. So please do enter, guys, and have a good go at filling out these brackets.
Yeah, this is a really, really fun thing. Here are all the brands that are supporting and sponsoring Mecha Madness. So it should be a pretty fun event. I know a lot of you are probably already in there. You guys have probably, filled out your brackets already. But if you haven't, definitely make sure to check this out because it's going to be a really, really fun, involved community event. And it's just gonna be a really good time. And like Jay was mentioning, I had a ton of fun when I filled out my brackets. Obviously, we're part of the people sponsoring this, so we're not gonna win anything. We can't win anything, but we just wanted to fill it out for fun either way. So obviously, I'm gonna win because why would I ever be wrong? So I did everything correctly, but I won't tell you what I did. But also on a quick note, I noticed since this is run through a program called Challenge or something like that, and if you want to be able to view and alter your choices after you've made your predictions, you do have to register. You have to make an account there. I kind of messed that up when I first did it, so I did mine without actually registering, and you're not able to view yours or anyone else's or edit anything. So quick mistake I made. Hopefully you guys will be a little bit more aware of that since we've told you there. All right, so Tyson, let's catch up on some subs because there's actually been a couple. So MK Tyson just subs tier 1 for 3 months in a row. Thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate
that hand thing also subbed with a tier 1 sub for 2 months in a row. Says I Lamau. I Lamau to you too, sir. Fantastic. Mr. Petrov with a tier 2 sub. Very nice. Thank you so much for that. And Jay Shuff gifts a tier 1 sub to Jazz Jared. So thank you very much for that as well.
Yeah, thanks guys. We really appreciate all the subs and all the support you give us. So thank you very much for that.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's Mecha Madness. Get prepared, guys. Get your predictions in. Go to that link and fill out all your stuff. Catch up on the rules, and just have a good time. It's going to be a fun time. I've already seen lots of people talking about it.
Yeah, go follow Dixie on Instagram as well, so that when the competition starts, you've already got him in your timelines, and you'll be able to see everything happen live as well.
Yep, Dixie Mech on Instagram. You'll be able to vote in the stories. It'll be good times. I'm pretty sure I got every single matchup correct. Not to toot my own horn,
You're
but
so confident.
I am really confident about this, and I think I have a lot of surprises that I think a lot of other people didn't pick.
I did go for some difficult choices that I'm not sure if the community is going to agree with me on or not, but and there were some choices that I didn't make from a personal perspective, but I made them from a what's the community going to decide as well. So I've kind of gone both ways in some of these more difficult ones.
Yeah, I kind of want to see your bracket. We should show each other our brackets.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's Valentine's Day. We got to show each other our things. So, that's just the way it is. So, just a quick note, one last note here on the Mecha Madness. We will be covering the tournament as it goes. So that's part of Top Clack's involvement in this process. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really cool. We'll have a little kind of, fun kind of riff on a post-game news section where we'll talk about what's been happening, what's currently happening, what's coming up as far as Mecha Madness is going, and of course that segment will officially be on Top Clack in March. We'll do it all 4 episodes in March, or whatever it is, as much as we can basically. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a ton of fun, guys. So make sure you get your predictions in there, and then make sure you participate in the actual Mecha Madness tournament on Instagram by following Dixie Mac and checking out those stories.
Dixie's also saying in chat as well that there's a large prize for anyone who gets the perfect bracket. So can't wait to see what that is as well.
Yeah, it would be
apparently
me.
Brian's winning that. So
yeah, well I can't win it, but now. Yeah, it would be me if I actually entered. Just throw it out there. Yeah. I'm not overconfident or modest at all. It's whatever.
No character flaws with you, Brian. None at all.
Yeah, no, I'm like the perfect person. Anyways, so yeah, that's Mecha Madness. Get your predictions in. Stay tuned. We'll be covering more of this as the whole process and tournament starts and goes on. It's gonna be great. Get in there, guys. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to our news doc here.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing we've got coming up is a new GMK set, GMK Minimal. So this is a new set that Yanglad has put up, or Janglad has put up as an IC, and it's very much just a black on white set, but with a really simple kit design. Two kits: the Zero kit and the Plus kit. So it's got a very simple, minimal layouts. It supports 60%, 65% 10 keyless, and alternate bottom rows in just the base design, with the numpad and ISO support split into the Plus kit as well. So really simple. I think this looks really nice. You know, I love that kind of classic black text on white keycaps. I think it looks great. It's a really nice, simple looking set, and the renders, as always with Jan, are absolutely fantastic. I think it's got quite a few boards in there, including a tease for Dixie Max Bauer, which I noticed as well. Again, I'm quite interested in that board. So yeah, that was nice to see in there. Some good teaser shots of that.
When I saw this picture, I was like, wait a second. It's like, is this the first time the Bauer's been shown in public? Like, I don't, other than. I don't remember
small angles, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember anything more than just like the tease that Dixie did at one point. So this is kind of interesting. Yeah, we got a little Bauer action going on here, which is pretty interesting. So now we know, quick note on that briefly, that it's a 65% with 2 blockers. At least that's one of the options. So that's pretty interesting. We get a little extra tease there on the Bauer coming in from Dixie Mac. So pretty cool stuff there. I like Mr. Petrov in the chat says the irony of making Jay present minimal. Oh man, that is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So this set's actually kind of interesting. It's been met with a little bit of controversy actually, which is kind of strange to me. But you know how the community is. Sometimes they just like to have drama for the sake of drama, and they like to, hey, patent McColorways and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, it is a little bit different. It's not the same as Pristine. It's not the same as Stormtrooper. It does use a different white, so it isn't the same one, although it is stock GMK colours. So whilst there is definitely a resemblance to other key sets, it's not a direct copy. I have been speaking with Ryan, who's working on this with Jan, and there are some other things that they're considering in the background and talking about actively as well that might even simplify this set even further, such as mono legends and stuff like that. So I'd be interested to see how the set design changes during the IC. But as always, we haven't had a black on white set for some time now, and this is a different series of colours. So whilst it resembles other things and it's simple, this is kind of one of those basic sets that everyone should own to me. Everyone should have a black on white and a white on black, because it goes with everything. It's something you can put with any board. So I'm interested to see this go all the way to Group Buy, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of cool to see this kind of kit breakdown too, at least for people like me. I've mentioned this before when we were talking about GMK Hamon last week. So we're kind of seeing a similar approach here. They're really trying to cut down that core kit a lot to get the price down, and it kind of shows here as well. So Dixie Mech will be the US proxy for this, mykeyboard.eu for the EU, Daily Clack for your Oceania orders, and zFrontier for Asia. And the price is going to be starting at 110, so pretty low, and these are stock colors, so we're going to assume 150 MOQ at that. Should be pretty easy to hit. At 500 units sold, it'll drop $10 down to $100. So pretty cool stuff there. It'll be kind of in the same realm as GMK Hamon. And pretty darn awesome, actually. I'm a big fan of this. I don't really feel like doing another white on black or black on white set is like stealing a colorway or anything. Other people obviously are free to disagree, but I think when you have a black and white set, like you can't really patent black and white. Like that's not like an original like IP. At least that's how I feel about it.
No, I completely agree. I was going to say exactly the same kind of thing. It's one of those sets that it needs to be there for the community because it's something that goes with everything. It's not something that's based around a particular set of colours that build up a theme, like something like Solarized Dark or something like that. This is, a very basic set. And just jumping back to the key set breakdown, I think one of the things that I'm really interested in here is we're seeing with Hamon the ISO kit is struggling, and the numpad kit's kind of doing fairly well. So the thing I'm really glad about is that in this one they're kind of bundled together as a separate kit, but each one will reinforce the other one. So you don't just have the numpad or the ISO, you have both together reinforcing each other to get the numbers up to MRQ. So I really like to see that. I get, the numbers say that certain things don't need to be in the base kit anymore, and putting them together outside of the base kit is absolutely the right way to go. The only thing I would like to see on this is support for some smaller spacebar sizes as well, for split spacebar use and things like that. I think that's the only other thing that I would like to see added to the Plus kit.
Yeah, also quick note, if you guys didn't notice, there are no icons on any of the mods, so this is purely text mods, which, as far as black on white sets or white on black sets, I don't think we've really seen that before. So that's actually kind of a little bit of fresh air for people that might like those. I'm more of an icon mod kind of guy, but hey, I make my peace with it.
Yeah, I did ask Ryan that question, because for me, minimal would be icon mods rather than text mods, and they're just, from a design perspective, they don't like the icons. So I don't know if they're going to look at making their own icons or something else. They're just Ryan had some concerns around the kerning and the shaping of some of the icons and how they didn't all fit together. So I think they were just looking at it from a design perspective. But either way, I think this is one of those classic looking sets. It'll do well either way, and I'm absolutely going to support it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll probably get on this as well, because I'm all for cheaper GMK sets, even with less keys, because this will still feature everything I need. Also, quick note: I noticed there's no price, even an estimate, for the extras kit here.
So I think that's because they're not 100% certain on the keys that will be in there. So if they do add or change something, that might change the price a little bit. So I think they're still waiting to finalize that kit before they get the price for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So, keep your eyes out for this. He already has all the vendors and proxies lined up, so it should be pretty good stuff.
And these renders as well. Jan's renders are they're so good.
Yeah. We have a lot of really great renderers in the community now. Like, it's not like it used to be where only Thesis Camper did everything. Like, now there's a lot of people really doing good work.
Absolutely.
Cool stuff. All right, let's move on to our next one, which is an interest check for this is a pending name, obviously. GMK N9-U9. So those are just the color codes there for GMK. They will be deciding on a new name, I imagine.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're looking for a new name at the moment.
Yeah, they'd be kind of silly not to. Anyways, these are pretty interesting renders, and I'm actually a really big fan of these colors together like this, personally.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is run by Amir, who you might remember from the linear switch that he's progressing for the Swedish community. So he's the designer of this set as well, and it's heavily inspired by the Carbon Boneyard set as well. So he's already had a chat with Tombury about doing this and got the okay from there. But like Brian says, I'm a real big fan of this as well. I think the kind of the dark grey with the off-white Legends it just looks a really classy looking set, and again, it's an alternative to the traditional black on white and the white on black kits that everyone should have really in their arsenal for builds. So I really like the look of this. It's kind of a dark muted set almost.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a real winner for me, and I like that there's icon mods as well. I'm really into that. As we just talked about.
Yeah, I do like the icon mods personally as well. One of the other things as well is they've got a couple of different options for the base kit, so they're still trying to work out, like we've seen with Hamon and just a second ago with Minimal. People are still trying to work out what the best base kit size is, and we've seen a lot of experimentation in that place. So I think there's a couple of options here with different varying keys and options from the GMK renders. So I think depending on how the IC goes, that might change the options for the keys that are included. But I think, to be honest, most of these sets cover most layouts, so I don't think there's anything that doesn't give most users what they need, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even in the lowest numbered key kit, you still got 6%, 10 keyless, full size, 1800, just about 40 support, HHKB and ISO. So, even in that smallest kit, they've still managed to cram everything in, which is really good to see.
Yeah. Absolutely. So using stock colors, just like the last set we talked about. So the minimum MOQ is going to be 150. Yep. We don't really have any kind of price yet. There's waiting on a quote from GMK, which is still pending, as they say here, and they're gonna get I like how they say this, get proper renders made for a GB by, I'm not gonna pretend to know how to pronounce how they're trying to pronounce professional.
I think that's how they spell it in Swedish. So
that's fantastic. So yeah, pretty cool project looking here. They don't really have any vendors lined up besides mykeyboard.eu, so we don't really know who's going to be taking care of anyone else in the world. But yeah, this is looking pretty promising for me. This is a must buy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing as well that I'd like to see is just from a render perspective, just have a look at it, is how the reverse of this would look. So almost like Minimal that we just saw, but using the reverse colorway. So U9 N9, I think that'd look quite interesting. So you'd have the off-white with the grey legends. I think that might look quite nice as well. So
to all you renderers out there, show me that.
Yeah, show me.
Let's see how that looks, just for our personal curiosity.
Yeah, just for me. Yeah, just show me.
Well, I want to see too. Like we're two people now. Japanese horror writer donates 1,000 bits with the classic rip emote there. Very nice. Thank you very much for that.
Appreciate it, dude.
Oh yeah. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. See how this goes. Because I want this to happen.
Thogbot saying 2 sets that I need. Yeah, I want both of this and Minimal.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, at least
it's gonna be an expensive couple months.
Yeah, at least Minimal won't hurt the wallet quite as much. We'll have to see what the pricing is like on this one, but I expect it to obviously be higher than 110.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will be a little bit higher. If you look at the number of keys in there, it's going to be more expensive. So yeah, we just need to see what kind of prices they come out with.
All right, let's move on to a set that I know you're a really big fan of.
Thanks.
This is the interest check for GMK Terracotta. And there's not a whole lot of info here, but he does have some pictures and a little bit of text. So I'm just going to show off these pictures and tell you that these are obviously GMK, and they're themed around clay, terracotta clay. So
yeah, and what is nice to see is that he's actually got some renders on this one as well. So there's some true renders about what it's going to look like on the IC, which is always good to see. I do like to see that. I get the theme. It's not one for me personally, but I understand the theme, and I kind of get where it's coming from. And in terms of meeting the theme, it does match the theme quite well. I'm just not sure it works on a keyboard for me personally. But I did show this to my wife earlier on, and she was a really big fan of it. So yeah.
Yeah, I too am not the biggest fan, but you know, you gotta give credit where credit's due.
He's done a good job. He's got a fair kit layout. He's got some nice renders. I think it looks good. A bit more information would be useful around you know, sort of vendors and any sort of interest in changing the kit size or in increasing or decreasing that, or whether there's going to be the child kits. And it's not a name that I know I've not seen Terraria Wiki around much before, so I don't know if he's got any experience or if there's another username that he runs under.
Yeah, under Geekhack, he only has 2 posts, so he's obviously incredibly new to Geekhack at the very least. So yeah, we'll have to wait to see more of that to see if this actually hits group by phase. Seems like some people are kind of into it, some people maybe not so much. One person says GMK ketchup and mustard.
Yeah. What would be really nice is some novelties with this one, actually, like some terracotta plant pots and stuff like that. That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. You need some novelties here. Personally.
Yeah. It's one of those sets that needs the novelties and it needs them in the base rather than having a separate kit for them. Yeah, is how I feel about this one.
Yep. All right. So there's no more info here, so obviously we can't talk too much about it. So we're gonna wait for this and move on to the next one, which is it's probably something that makes Jay wet his pants.
Well, maybe a little bit. So this popped up on Candy Key's store Instagram earlier on today. So this, I kind of knew that this was happening a little while ago. Through some conversations with David, who runs Candy Keys. But effectively, what this is a black and white, so white on black GMK set, but it's specifically for ISO DE, so German ISO keycaps, effectively. So they've run it through GMK. These are going to be in stock. They're about to go on sale imminently. They might already be on sale now. I'm not sure, but they're about to go on sale imminently. I think there's 250 of these in stock. David's been telling me all about them earlier on today. and there's plans to do more sets like this in the future. So whilst this might not be one for a lot of our American viewers or people around the world, for our EU members of the show and community, this is a real winner. So it's a great looking set. It's a classic colorway, and with the recent mass drop and originative group buys for a similar colorway, you couldn't get a lot of these keys. You certainly couldn't get the DE keys, the German keys. So it's been a way for the community to get hold of those. So I'm really all for this. It's a cheap kit. I think it's going to be €92, which is pretty much $90. So it's really cheap kit, and it's I'm glad to see it get out there. In fact, if you're outside of the EU, it's even cheaper as well, because there's no tax and there's no VAT to pay on top of the sets. I think it drops it down to like $78 or something like that. David was telling me, so it's really cheap if you're outside of the EU. Nice. Yeah.
All right, there you go. For all of you German layout users, there you go. Cheap GMK goodness.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Let's move on to an interest check for DSA Blue. In parentheses, Space Cadet, ? In parentheses.
Yeah, interesting.
Which is interesting way to put that.
Yeah, so I was having to read through this one earlier on, and the guy that's behind this, the Royal, his kind of view on this one is he really likes the Space Cadet, but he wants the Space Cadet colorway, but he wants to have the alphas without all of those kind of sub-legends, the Cyrillic and the Greek letters that are present in traditional Space Cadet kits. So what he's done is he's created this set here, which is effectively using the same colors, the same mod colors and the same alpha colors, or with an alternate kit that's the blue alphas, to try and come up with that set without the clustered legends on the keycaps. So I think this looks kind of nice. It reminds me a lot of Dasher and Dancer when you have just a whole blue set. But yeah, it seems fairly well thought out, fairly well put together. Lots of clear kits, including 40 support, numpad support, split in the traditional way that we see a lot of Signature Plastics group buys split up. So yeah, I think it looks good.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to ask you a question, actually.
Sure.
So, Space Cadet, obviously, as far as the colorway goes, is pretty old, right? It's not exactly new. And we see people, I'm going to use Dolch as an example. We see people rehash Dolch all the time. There's been, a dozen iterations of, on the normal Dolch, and, nobody really bats an eye because, it's a classic colorway, it's vintage, it's kind of known as free game. Do you feel like Space Cadet is on that same level of free game?
I think there's 2 points to this one. So firstly, I think it's one of those older things. So traditionally, it comes from all the old Lisp machines and the Symbolics machines that we used in the 70s and 80s. And my Hyper 7 board's even built on Space Cadet SA keycaps as well. So I think that the design probably is in that realm where people can riff off it and play different things, like the white on black, the black on white, and as you mentioned, the Dolch as well, and potentially do different things with it. I don't think anyone particularly would mind that. I think where the issues on this one might be experienced is that the traditional legends that are the molds with SP that were made for the traditional legends that show all of the Cyrillics and Greek letters and things, for SA they're owned by 7-Bit, who's one of the Death Authority users. So I think it's a case of, yes, the colorway is open for interpretation, but in terms of the actual use of the molds, that's where we might see some challenge and some pushback, or not. I don't know. I'm not sure how open 7-Bit is to that, and I don't know if they have that option for DSA as well. I'm not sure if that exists today. Although there was a secret kind of check for a DSA Space Cadet kit a couple of years ago that was doing the rounds, but I don't think anything ever came of it. So I guess it's been considered before. I don't know if you feel differently.
I haven't, but I was more just kind of curious what your and maybe others' thoughts are on kind of just redoing classic colorways and like what is kind of at the same level, because everyone just sees a new Dolch and people are like, okay, it's just a new Dolch, like there's no like fighting going on, there's no my colorways, you're taking all my colorways, I was curious if Space Cadet could be like still a set like that. I wasn't sure.
Red Space Cadet. So I know Zambu teased this a little while back when he was doing the GMK Space Cadet stuff, but yeah, Red Cadet or whatever he called it, I can't remember. Where the whole key set was red with white legends at the time that Red Riot was going. So I think people are open to it. I'd absolutely be on it. I've got GMK Space Cadet and I've got SA Space Cadet, and I'd be all over a different coloured theme for it as well. I think it'd be great. The legends look fantastic. Yeah. Pony's just correcting me. Actually, it was a Blotsky, not Zambu. Yeah, that's
Didn't
right.
I make? I made the same mistake last week. I think I got them mixed up.
Yeah. Easy to mix it up. Both good-looking guys.
Yeah, they are both very handsome men.
Yeah, they are.
All right, so this interest check still relatively early, so he's kind of just looking for feedback here. He says he'll absolutely consider things like GMK or SA variants, as well. And yeah, he's got a little timeline here. But yeah. So that's DSA Blue. Space Cadet?
Yeah. Do you know what? I think if he adds the Space Cadet Legends, a lot more people will be interested because it's such a classic look to a board. And there'll be people who wanted the GMK set, there'll be people who wanted the SA set. I know SA Symbiosis ran again last year. So, I think if he runs it with the traditional Legends, then I think he'll get a lot more interest. But I think it looks nice.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the colours, so...
Yeah, not too bad. Alright, let's move on to something a little bit different.
I feel like this is one of your favourite topics this week.
Not at all. I mean... okay, it might be one of my favourite topics this week. So this is a group buy for hand-painted wrist rest by user Romeo. And I did get in on this already. I already joined it. Because I'm a really big fan of this guy's or whoever is painting this their artwork. I don't think it's actually Romeo. I think it's a different artist. Oh, here we go. So it's user Dasso Revi. I'm not sure who that is. Never heard that name. But I like the artwork going on here. And this actually kind of had me thinking of a lot of things. So we obviously have color coordinating things is huge in the community right now. We have desk mats. Switches, and obviously, your keyboard and case colors and your keycap colors and stuff, and cables, big thing as well. Are wrist rests the next big thing that you color match to your keyboard and key sets?
It's an interesting question. Or with stuff like this, do you have it as an accent piece that's completely within the theme, but maybe has a bit of artwork on? Yeah, it's an interesting point. I think the only board I've got that I use the wrist rest with is the Alice, and that's got the Alice and TGR logos embedded into it as an accent piece. But I think that these look really, really good. They're definitely a bit different. They're quite kitsch, quite cool, and I can see these being really popular, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, I saw this when it was an interest check, and I was like, I gotta buy one. I gotta buy one.
Yeah,
People in the chat are calling me out on which one I bought. Because they're saying I can't resist a cat, and you're absolutely right. I did get the cat. So
nice.
Congrats to all of you people in chat that know me. It was a hard decision though. Like honestly, I could have gotten any of these, and I would have been very happy with it. But I did eventually settle on the cat.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The previous ones he's run with the forest green. That would be my pick. That's quite a bit down in the chat, but yeah, that would be my pick, the forest green one, if you guys see that. But I do think these look great. And from what I understand, this is a one that's been run previously. This is the 5th time that they've run this group by, so there's always been lots of different options and different themes that have gone through. So yeah,
I hadn't even seen it until just now, so I guess I've been living under a rock when it comes to this.
Yeah, the original post was from June last year, so I think they've run it a few times. And as I say, I think the green one that I like, the trees, is from a previous round. So yeah, these are all new designs, but they look fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're all hand painted, and they just look great. They look so good.
Yeah, the really interesting part is not only are they hand painted, but the prices for being hand painted are actually pretty low.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's 3 different sizes, so there's small, medium, and large, and that'll be $45, $50, and $55 respectively before shipping. And they'll have a little size breakdown chart here. The small covers 60s and 65% at 32 centimeters. The medium covers TKLs at 36 centimeters, and the large will cover your full sizes, your 1800s, and your 96 keys at 44 centimeters. So not too shabby there. The shipping does get a little higher than I think it might need to be, but you know, I'm also not an expert in shipping this kind of thing, so it is what it is. It's going to be a lot of international. So the shipping starts at $18. That is for the small. At medium, it bumps up to $24, and the large ones are $26. So you're paying, you know, almost half the cost of the wrist itself just in shipping, which is a pretty penny, to say the least.
Yeah, I think it looks, if you combo the shipping up, it looks like it does work out cheaper. So if you get a couple mixed together and you've got some friends that live nearby who want to get one as well, then it looks like the shipping prices do scale down the more you start to put in the same box. The interesting thing for me though as well is that if you want a custom size or a custom request painting, it's only $5 extra. Which, if there's nothing that quite tickles your fancy, but you want something, an extra $5 is nothing for something custom
at that point. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just really great. And Bledin in the chat has posted a link. Yes, that is the one I meant, dude. Yes, the one with the green trees, and I think that looks really good. I'm a big fan of that.
All right, cool. So this group buy is currently open. The forum is right there in the thread itself, so you can go check that out if you want to join on it. Prices seem relatively reasonable, all things considered. And yeah. Oh, and just because I was curious when I first saw this is clear coated. So that there is actually a layer of protection over the paint. So that was something I was a little worried about, is how that was accomplished, because, you know, obviously if you're using this rest over time, you're probably going to really destroy that paint with your skin oils.
Yeah.
So hopefully the clear coat will just totally take care of that, and will all be good stuff.
Yeah, one thing I didn't see on here is an end date, Brian. I don't know if you know when this group buy ends. I couldn't see it anywhere on there.
I don't see it either.
Putting you on the spot now. Yeah, I couldn't see it on there. I didn't see it on the form either. I'm just scrolling through. I don't know if it's like when they get to 40 orders or something like that. There's a certain number of orders that's where they'll stop. But yeah, I can't see an end date, but it is live at the minute. So
yeah, okay. Well, hopefully they can update that with a little bit of an end date, but we'll see. Either way, if this is your thing, make sure to check it out, support that. Hand-painted artist kind of stuff is always really fun to see in our kind of community, I think.
Yeah, it's something that's truly custom, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on to some more clothing. So I feel like clothing is kind of slowly becoming a little bit more of a thing. Yeah. I wouldn't really call it big yet, but I feel like it's kind of getting there. And I'm going to ask you the same question, just like I did with the wrist rest. Do you think clothing is going to be the next big thing to color match to your keyboards? So you're typing on your your Hyperfuse Origins, on your whatever keyboard, and you got to wear your Hyperfuse Origins themed shirt while you type on it, because that's just how you get the maximum amount of street cred in our community.
Absolutely. No, I think the keyboard wear, and I'm going to put that in parentheses, but the whole kind of keyboard wear stuff is kind of getting there now. We saw the Holly Panda T-shirts and hoodies, which I know we both picked up, and then there's things like the Nixdorf computer shirt here from the Key Company, which is pretty cool. I'm definitely going to buy one of these. And then you've kind of got all of the the other things that we've seen. I think we've seen my keyboard T-shirts, which I've got one of. We've seen Way's T-shirts. But I think you came up with the slogan for his latest T-shirt, Brian. I think. So I think it's something that's happening. Dixie as well, and Dixie Mech, he's been selling hats and all sorts of bits and pieces on there. I think it's something that's it's coming. The bigger the community gets, the more things people want, and this is an opportunity for us to expand into that kind of whole clothing kind of wear. And some of it's really cool design. It's kind of that classic cool design that fits that kind of retro feel, which a lot of people see with the whole keyboard community as well. So I think it's a good thing. So yeah.
I definitely think
I think it's coming there.
It's accessible.
We also saw the whole ham-on wear as well, didn't we? The shirts we looked at briefly last week. So if things like that, they gradually change from becoming something to have a bit of a joke and laugh about to something that becomes acceptable and expected in the community. So it's a growing market, and I'm all for it. All for it.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't that long ago on Massdrop they had the laser wear. And that was a really big hit or miss for a lot of people. A lot of people were really, really not into it, and a lot of people totally were. I remember after that happened, I saw some of the mass drop guys at the Seattle meetup that happened like right after, and they were like all sporting laser wear. And I was like, that is insane, man. They had like the shirt and like the socks, and I was like, wow, this is nuts to see in person.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Meetups are becoming more and more popular, and if you go to a car meetup, people wear branded car T-shirts. If you go to the whole demo scene and you follow your favorite bands and things, people wear band T-shirts. So why not have keyboard T-shirts for keyboard meetups? It's a logical.
Like most of my shirts are actually keyboard themed shirts now.
Yeah,
which
like
is
the
like
white
really
you're wearing right now.
Yeah, perfect. And you're not. So what are you doing?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I do have some. I've got my keyboard and a couple from Way that he sent me. So I do have them. But I maybe I should go change quickly.
Yeah, you gotta change on stream. You just can't show your nipples.
Change on stream. Right. Okay. Keep my nipples below.
I'm pretty sure that's Twitch's TOS.
Sorry, I wear tape anyway, so we'll be good.
All right. So this is the Nixdorf computer T-shirt from the Key Company. If this is your kind of thing, make sure to check it out. It's got some details here. It closes on the 22nd of this month. And yeah, black is going to be the only color. Should have a pretty fast fulfillment, and you get free stickers with order as well. And,
and if I remember rightly, I think these are $25, I think.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for the price, but I can't. Oh,
I think you have to open up the site. And
yeah, so it starts at $25. Scales up just a little bit if you're like me and you're not small, medium, or large. If you're much bigger than the average person, scales up just a little bit. So yeah, pretty cool stuff there. Then he has some updates on his upcoming stuff as well. And then hey, look, he says he's going to be a guest on Top Clack this week. That's weird. That's weird.
That's good news.
That's interesting. Weird. That's interesting. How are we going to work that out? Just kidding, guys. We're gonna actually be pulling Jason from the Key Company on here very, very shortly. But first,
he's actually posting in chat. Actually, $25 free domestic shipping if you put Nixdorf in the checkout for free shipping as well. So check that out, guys.
Perfect. Very good stuff. There we go. So that's actually the end of our news stock for now. So let's talk a little bit about our sponsors for this week's episode.
Yeah. So the first one up this week is Input Club, the Kono.store. So as always, these guys have got a number of fantastic offers on for you guys. So this week as well, if you do order today with the code SweetValentine, you can get 14% off when you purchase 2 keyboards or more. So do take advantage of that if there's a couple of bits and pieces that you want. Save 14% if you buy 2 using the code SweetValentine. But as always, I've got the Kira 96, which people just started to see shipping quite recently. This is a 96 key keyboard, which comes in either a plastic or metal finish with some lovely looking underglow and a decent amount of switch options as well. So you can pick between the Heiko switches, the NovelKeys box switches, and the Cherry MX switches as well. So there's plenty of options in there. So do take a look at that if you like a 96 key layout. We've also got the Infinity Ergodox, which is something that I've just picked up as well. I put an order in for this just a couple of days ago because I wanted to try another split board with an ortho layout. Someone's been challenging me to try that out again, so I'm going to pick one. Well, I've picked one of these up, waiting for it to ship now. But this is a lovely split board with 2 dual LED screens, so you can see on either side and have those display various things with a nice sandwich design as well. And then we've also got the Gemini Dusk and Dawn. And Brian, go and say your favorite line on this one.
Yeah, this is the K-type killer, guys.
The K-type killer, the Gemini Dusk and Dawn. So you can pick between the white and the black board options here. So both really, really good looking, full RGB underglow per key, all of that kind of good stuff as well. It's a great price, $139. It's cheaper than it was a couple of weeks ago. Multiple different switch options. You can go with box white, box brown, box red. It's a perfect starter board if there's anyone in your life that's looking to pick up a board and join the hobby.
Yep, they're hot swap too.
Yep.
Yep.
PVC keycaps. Yep. We can keep talking about them all day on these ones. They are really good boards, so do check them out, guys.
Yep, absolutely. So next up we have zFrontier, which still has the Morgree 60% wireless low pro keyboard in for a pretty good price, if I do say so myself. Pretty neat layout and stuff going on there. We talked about this just a couple weeks ago. I actually still might pick one of these up, surprisingly. I think it's kind of a neat board, and I definitely need a wireless board in my life because I don't have one right now. So yeah, there is that, and of course they have lots of other things going on. Key sets in stock, including the JTK triple shots, are still open. Proxying for GMK Bento as well, if you're more in that area. And yeah, check that out.
Okay, and then moving on, we've also got NovelKeys. So Mike from NovelKeys has a number of things in store for you at the minute. Links are in the chat. So this week we've got GMK Bento, which is still up for group buy, so you guys can pick that out. That's a lovely kind of a themed set with the blue, the salmon, and then you've also got the Hiragana Legends on there as well. If you do like Bento, you should also consider picking up one of the Keywork Nano Slider accompaniment boards. This is kind of like a little macro pad that's got a really cool slider on there that you can use for all sorts of functions, Photoshop functions, volume, all sorts of different bits and pieces. And as well, I was going to talk about the Gateron ink switches, but Mike's already sold out of them. They've already sold out. So I did a build of these last week, and if they come back into stock, I highly recommend picking them up. They're a really good Telio alternative. But what he does have in stock and on the way at the minute is a lot of the Kale switches. There's the new box pinks, which you guys should check out. Brian and I have both got some of these, which will be on stream in the next couple of weeks for a build as well when we try those out personally. But you can pick up all your standard Gateron and Cherry switches from here as well. And if you are into it, the Linear switch is still in group buy for another few days at the minute as well, if you want to support the Swedish community.
Heck yeah. That group buy is done at cost, by the way, guys. So definitely, definitely something to support. Lots of cool guys doing that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep. And don't forget, we do have a promo code, this little discount code for NovelKeys. This month, I think it's Clack. It's just Clack. Yep. One word. That's all it is. And that's going to be your discount code if you're in the Top Clack community. So use that one. It'll get you 5% off your total order. And good stuff. Good stuff. Save you a few buckaroos there. Last but not least, we have Zeal Generation, which you can find at zealpc.net. He's got lots of things going on as usual. He has all of his new V2 lineup of switches. He's got the Helios, which are the new silent linear. He's got upgraded Telios in stock as well. He's got all the new Zelios and Xylent V2s. I've been using pretty much the entire lineup, and I've been really enjoying pretty much the entire lineup, a lot more than the previous versions even. So there's that. He still has the Zeno group buy open. That closes actually at midnight, I think. So if you want to get in on the Zeno, this is pretty much your last chance. It closes in just a few hours, basically. So make sure you hop in on the Zeno before you miss it. Before you miss it.
Show Pona and Zeal some love on that, because it is a really, really good looking board. It looks fantastic.
Yep, absolutely. And also, I believe, let me make sure I get this right as well. Yes, so the group buy for the pink Roselios or Sacurios, depending on which weight you like, that group buy also ends tonight. So if you want to get in on those, make sure you get on those now. Maybe, you know, pick up a Zeno as well, you know, pick up some of these switches. Because today is your last chance to get these in group buy formats with the discount there on the pink Roselios and Sacurios as well. So make sure you get on those while you can. Production actually starts literally tomorrow on these, so that's pretty cool. They'll hopefully come in pretty soon. Zeal's pretty good about that. And while you're there, and maybe you want to support Top Clack, you know, you're buying your Roselios, Sacurios, or Zenos, whatever, you can use our affiliate link, which is zealpc.net/TopClack. That'll give us just a little bit of a kickback, and of course it won't cost you anything extra. Just you know, goes to help support people like Top Clack. So if you want to get on those, make sure you use that link if you don't absolutely hate us, and we'll love you for it.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so there is that. I'm going to roll over and try to bring our guest on. Hopefully this will actually go really smooth. So hopefully we'll I know, right? Feels bad, man. So here we go, rolling over right now. Hopefully we can get some audio coming in from Jason here momentarily. So we have video here. Jason, I'm going to have you unmute yourself from Discord here, and then we'll get right into it.
Hey, here I am.
Oh my god.
Hey,
perfect.
man, good to see you.
All right. So, looks like everything's going well, just as I predicted. Ha 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 ha. So, if that tells you any indications for my Mecha Madness predictions, bam, bam. I'm gonna get them all right. So
I'm not sure technical and picking a bracket.
Why do you always gotta bring me down, man? It's Valentine's Day. We're supposed to bring each other up. Come on.
Yeah, well, Dixie's already shouting out. I think you've got a Valentine here, Jason, because he's saying, "Look at that sexy beast." So there you go.
Am I missing something?
Well, if you read Twitch chat, you're not really missing anything. But we're just messing around. Anyways, Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
We're doing fantastic. Top Clack Thursday, always good for me. So we have yes to you as well. Does your wife or girlfriend know that you're doing the show right now? Are they upset that you're not spending time with them?
Yes, my wife is sitting in the other room watching something on Netflix. She's sending me ridiculous gifts of people like. She can hear us.
Wow, fantastic!
It's funny, actually. Yeah.
Shout outs to her for not beating you up on stream right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, great, I mean, our dining room is like a TKC sub headquarters right now. She's been cool about it. So
nice. Okay, so we have had you on the show in the past, but it's been a little while. So for the other people out there, can you just give us a little bit of a recap on who you are and what you do in the community?
Sure. My username is Mike Honcho. It's not a really long story, it's just a stupid story. I won't even get into it. I run the Key company. We're an online retailer. We stock products, mostly mid to high end custom mechanical keyboard accessories. We try to innovate. You always got something new coming down the pipe. It seems like. You guys, I know a lot of you guys know me. A lot of you have bought stuff from me. We just try to keep it fresh, break the mold a little bit.
Awesome. So you have a couple things going on right now that I know you want to talk about. So let's get right into that. So tell us a little bit about the Katakana PBT keycaps and a little bit of the atmosphere around them, because I know you've kind of had a love-hate with what's going on in the situation right now.
Yeah, it's been interesting. So the idea came to me. I've been talking to this guy. His name's Lee, and he brought to me this factory in China, and he said, "Hey, you guys want to do something with this? Yeah, let's see some samples." They sent me some samples. I saw some of the work they did. They've done some stuff for Kono Store. They do a lot of stuff for K Republic in China. If any of you guys have tried their PBT die sub, it's real high quality stuff. It took a while to come up with an idea though, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring something out that would give some versatility, but at the same time, I wanted to offer people as much compatibility as I could, because I mean keyboards come in all shapes and sizes, you guys know. And I also wanted to keep it where it wasn't breaking the bank, because I see a lot of times when I run, like with Terminal, for example, someone's got a 40% keyboard and they got to buy the base kit, they got to buy the spacebar kit, they got to buy the 40% kit. They spend $250 and they're just outfitting a keyboard the size of my iPhone. So I thought, okay, let's do something cool. Let's switch it up. Let's change the font. Let's give them 170 keys and let's keep it under $100. And we were able to do it. I think I may have gotten a little wild with the offerings as far as colors. I think maybe we should have kept it a little simpler. But people seem to love it. I mean, we're selling a lot of them. I'm anxious to hear your feedback on it, because I sent you one of the samples. Get off. I'm getting attacked by cats. Sorry.
That's okay. That happens. Yeah. That happens more often on this show than not.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the big one to jump up here. Hopefully I'll bring Masha on the show.
Oh yeah, cats on stream, always welcome, by the way.
Yeah. But if people are wondering about the font and like some of the choices I've made, I had this old Datacomp keyboard, company called Macway. They made aftermarket keyboards for Macintosh computers. It was big in Japan, Australia, that side of the world. And I had this black keyboard with Alps keys. I copied it almost verbatim. I really like the Apple font. I'm a Mac user. You can hate me if you want. It's fine. I just like it. So I wanted to kind of emulate that, and that's what I did. I hope everybody likes it. I mean, I know not everyone's crazy about sub-legends. We may do a version without them later down the road. I certainly want to use this factory again. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good to see some more PBT options on the market as well, because we've all seen the ePBT and stuff like that. But I think the colours you've got are really strong. We talked about them on a show a couple of weeks ago. I really like the matcher set. I think the green on that is really stand out. That's probably my favourite of the bunch. But yeah, I think they look good.
Thanks. Actually, matte color, I Pantone matched that to a Nike shirt that I thought.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
I literally brought my swatch book into the store and
it's a good colour. I'm a big fan of that one. Yeah, it's nice.
I think we need some more olive. It's a real popular color right now in the fashion world, and I mean, let's face it, our keyboards are fashion, so
Yeah,
you know, try to keep it fresh.
absolutely.
All right, yeah, you're not wrong about that. Just like we were talking about earlier, how to color match everything. It's all about the aesthetics these days. You gotta get in there. You gotta get your matching cable and your matching wrist rest and your T-shirt.
Yep.
And your
Yep.
desk pad.
The whole outfit these days. Yeah.
I was biting
everything.
my tongue when you were saying that, because when we roll out Cadet next month, I'm actually got something interesting to dress up your desk along with your keyboard. So,
Oh, nice.
Something we haven't seen before.
I mean, something you probably have on your desk now, just something you haven't seen themed into your keyboard.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, interesting.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Ski Data because I'm talking about color theming boards and things like that. I'm having a board Terracotta to match one of the cars that I have, and Ski Data will look nice on that board as well. So I'm quite excited for the group buy to run for that.
I love that set. That's the most money I ever spent on a key set up to that point. It was like a record-breaking. Oh my God, what have I done? Colors are just fantastic. The set's wonderful. I love it. And we mentioned running it last year. My friend Terry Matthews suggested that I do it. He said, "Hey man, we need to run this again. People want it, and no one's doing it." So we decided we'd do it, and it took a little while. I've had some hiccups and some bumps in just my personal life and things that have kept me from staying on, focused on getting these things done. So it's finally here.
Cool. I'm really excited to see that one. Definitely want to join that group buy. As you say, it's a classic set. It's one of those classic colorways that people are always going to love. So yeah,
absolutely.
Cool stuff.
So you got that board I sent you? I
can't
see you.
You can't see. Yeah. I know. Well, eventually we'll work out a solution where everyone can see me in the call and on stream, which I could do, but I just wrecked my camera quality kind of. So I try not to do that. But yeah, so like you said, you did send me a set on this pretty. Actually, let me go grab it. Sorry, I have it like right next to me, but like I have to reach kind of off stream to grab it. So I'll be right back.
I know it's the keyboard. He keeps telling me that. Brad doesn't have room on his desk for it, right, Jay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I've got a whole range run behind me, but I think an 1800s. I think I've only got one 1800 in my set, but I don't think Brian's got anything anywhere near that size.
No. So okay, what I'm showing you right now is what Jason just sent me recently. So he sent me the key set, the Katakana PBT set that we were talking about, on one of the TKC 1800s, which is this kind of painted plastic case, and the finish on it's actually really, really nice. But certainly much larger than what I normally use. Most of you out there probably know that I'm really, really partial to stuff like 60%. So this takes up a large portion of my desk, and it makes me feel really awkward. But obviously that's just a personal preference and, not what I'm used to. But as far as the keycaps themselves go, which is kind of what we're talking about right now, I think they feel quite good. It definitely reminds me of, it's very similar to Enjoy PBT. It feels just how I like my PBT, which is not grainy. I really, really, really despise grainy PBT, like stuff like Taihao, things of that kind of like low quality. It feels like you're kind of rubbing on sandpaper. I'm not into that. Not into that at all. So this is a lot smoother. It kind of almost feels fuzzy, which is kind of like the word I've usually been using to describe it. And I really, really enjoy the kind of fuzzy nature of it. And as far as the legends go, they look pretty darn good. They're definitely, you can tell they're inspired by that kind of classic Apple approach. And I'm a really big fan of using katakana over hiragana, because hiragana is a little played out in the community right now. At least that's how I feel about it. Go on, Jay, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, is that the reverse die subset you've got there, the white on black?
Yeah, so this is the white on black version. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really clean, isn't it? I mean, those guys did a great job.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like I was trying to find like issues with it, and I like couldn't. So.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess that the reverse die sub is the harder one to do as well. So if they can get the legends perfect on those ones, that's a really good sign for the rest of the 6 kits.
The thing I struggled with the most was getting the black right. It's really hard. People just you think of black. Oh, it's black. It's really not. It's actually, when you're talking printing, which
dark
is
gray.
Sub is, it's a combination of ink colors. So it's really hard to get a really rich black like you would get with an ABS plastic. I think we did a pretty good job. We had to go around back and forth to get it. And I'm glad you touched on the texture, because that was a big thing for me. The first PBT set I ever had was one of those tie house sets. I bought it on Mass Drop for $20. And I threw it right back in the box. I never touched it again. I don't even know where it is. It might be in the garbage.
I did the same thing. It was
really
bad.
With those keycaps, man, they're thick. The legends are very crisp. You know, and I guess I kind of put my own personal preference on it. That's why I include the Mac keys. So I know not everyone's a Mac user, but I am, and I'm just thrilled to have a command key I can actually put on one of my keyboards. So that was kind of a big deal for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you kind of mentioned on the color, I'm going to kind of show everyone here again a little bit more up close. It's not like a super deep black like you get on the ABS, like Jason was saying. So it's not like the kind of black that you'd see on GMK white on black, for instance. But it's almost more like a very dark gray, like a very dark charcoal almost, I guess you could say.
You kind of remind me of that set you showed earlier that was an IC phase. Gray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very close to that. And the production model will actually be a little bit higher contrast because we're going to use a white-based key rather than a gray one.
Okay.
So there should be a touch more contrast, a little bit of a brighter legend. So.
Yeah. So we do have a couple people asking questions already, but we're not to the Q&A section yet, guys. We will get to the Q&A soon, and Jason will be here for that. So if you have questions for him or us, make sure you save those just a little bit longer, and we'll get into that just a little bit later. But
sure, yeah,
someone is bringing up a good point, though. As far as your mic goes, can you actually bring it a little bit closer to your mouth? And if you turn it to the side, since it's a cardiac condenser, the mic should be kind of on the side. So if you turn it a little bit, it should be able to pick you up just a little bit clearer.
How's that?
That is so much better. It's unbelievable.
Massive improvement.
That's a really big improvement, yeah.
The last time I was on Top Clack and this time.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Well, it works. It works.
Good.
So something I kind of want to start doing a little bit differently from when we've had guests on in the past is kind of, I don't want to say dramatize anything. I don't want to bring up any drama or anything. I'm not trying to put you necessarily on the spot. Obviously, questions that you don't want to answer, you don't have to. No harm, no foul. But I do kind of want to get in the habit of getting vendors and other popular people's opinions on just like things that are going on in the community, and you know, some things that you like and dislike. So if you're not comfortable talking about anything, that's totally fine. You just gotta let me know. But I'm kind of curious, and we'll start you off kind of light here. I'm just kind of curious, like,
easy and gently.
Yeah. So aside from obviously yourself, what are the vendors that you like and dislike the most in this community, and why?
Ooh, this is an interesting position you've put me in.
Yeah. Again, like I said, you don't have to answer anything. You just gotta tell me you don't want to answer it.
You know, there's some that, I mean, I've had a lot of just like mundane experiences with vendors. I mean, some of the things that are really important to me is that, you know, especially with running group buys, and is this something I really don't like joining group buys from people that haven't established themselves. And I understand it's difficult. It's like, oh, you need job experience to get this job. You know, one of those chicken before the egg kind of things. So there's one thing I try to avoid. As far as good vendors go, though, I can't say enough good things about Mike at NovelKeys. The guy's great. The company's great. His website's great. His products are great. I like that he puts a little note on all of his packing slips. It takes a lot of work and test, and I appreciate that he does that. And everything always comes on time. Vendors I don't like. There is one vendor I'm not crazy about. I really don't want to say names, just because I don't really want to throw chairs on Jerry Springer, but
that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, just put it like this: like, so when Terminal arrived to my storage unit earlier this year, I had something like 400 orders to ship. I got it done in 2 days. Worked my butt off. I brought in some help, and before the shipment arrived, I did a lot of prep work and getting boxes ready so that when the boxes arrived, I just had to throw the stuff in there, slap labels on, and ship them out. They're making boxes. If you run a group buy and your order shows up and you don't ship it out for a month later, or you slowly do, I mean, unless you have some serious personal issue going on, that's just not cool. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Might have an idea.
I might have a couple ideas, but yeah.
I mean, I almost had to open a PayPal case on somebody. Something I don't really like to do, and I hate when people do it to me. By the way, if you have an issue, email me. Don't just open a PayPal case. It drives me insane. So yeah, that's about it. Other vendors I really like. Let me think. I don't know. I don't buy a lot of stuff anymore these days, guys. I buy some from NovelKeys about once a month. It seems like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett's over at Dixie Mech. He does a great job.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that strikes me from what you said there is it sounds like communication is really important between the vendors when you're running group buys, and it seems like that's not always available. How do you think vendors could get better at communicating with each other and with the community?
Well, one thing that I do, I don't know if this is what it does, instead of having like an update stream or something like that, whenever I run a product in a group buy phase, I leave that product page up and keep the
Sure.
link the same. Just put the product updates right on the page. That way, if somebody needs to know what's going on, they can just go there and check. And if there isn't an update, well, there's not an update. There's a lot of times, you make the payment to the vendor or the factory, and then you got to wait a few months before things start to happen. So that's how I do it. And we actually just started a Discord channel this week.
Okay.
We'll do some updates there. I think Discord's a real place. That's probably the best way to do it. I think just update your product. I mean, that's simple. It's like if you don't know where to go, you Google it. Okay, there it is. Boom. Oh, update. GMK's been paid. We're expecting it this date. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, totally. I've definitely seen kind of both sides of that too, because I know if you're not running like a professional vendor storefront like you are, like people are just running group buys on Keycap, people ask for updates, and you might not get any for a while because there aren't any, like you said. Sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 months for stuff to happen. But the kind of the flip side to that is that when people hear nothing at all, like even if things are just going nominally, if they hear nothing at all, like it's kind of scary.
Right.
If you go 4, 5, 6, 7 months and there's just literally nothing. So I feel like even at least on like Keycap group buys and stuff, if you just throw the OP throws in there like, hey, things are still going smooth, there's been no updates, like just to hear from that some kind of interaction, even if it's like neutral or even bad news, like you got to be upfront about what's happening. You got to be open. You got to be transparent. That's
Right.
kind of how I
Just
see it, at least.
like earlier when I mentioned, joining a group I run by like somebody who just arrived on the scene. You're right. That's mission critical. I mean, people are trusting you with their money. It might be a couple $100s, and maybe that's a lot to somebody. Maybe that's not a lot. It doesn't matter. I mean, money's money. You worked hard for it. You want to know it's safe and going towards what you sent it for.
Yeah, and I think the community is quite accepting as well. If things are going bad, I think if vendors and group buy runners are open, the community is broadly accepting of that. I think it's just really clear that people are open and honest, and I think that's the big challenge that we see with a lot of communication in the hobby today.
A majority of them are too, especially the OGs. I mean, people have been in this for a couple of years. You've been in this hobby, draining your wallet. You know what to expect, and you don't get too upset about things. And I can usually tell when I get a customer service email, like just by the tone of it, how long this person's been in this community.
Yeah.
So, in that note, give us an example. So, give us an example of a CS email that you get from a veteran versus CS email you get from a complete noob.
Like some of them, like people sometimes are very apologetic. Like, hey man, I joined this group. I really hate to bug you. I hope it's not too much trouble. I need to change my address or something like that. Sure, no problem. I'm happy to do that. I don't want it to go to the wrong address. But another example was around Christmas time. I had a guy send me it was on like Christmas Eve. He sent me this like fuming mad customer service email why his GMK DMG set hadn't arrived yet. And I got it on my phone. I get Zendesk updates on my mobile, and I just ignored it. I was at a Christmas party, and then the next day it's like a PayPal case opens. The next day I get another email. I was like, dude, it's a group buy. This stuff isn't even tangible yet. This is still just a concept, So, I mean, obviously that's someone who's never joined a group buy before. Read very thoroughly, because typically the first opening paragraph of my product pages when they're group buys is, hey, this is a group buy. That guy is actually the reason why I...
Yeah, I know even some vendors actually do like a big bold copy pasta multiple times on the product page, so it's like the first thing you see and it's the last thing you see. That this is a group buy, you will not get your item for X amount of time probably, and et cetera, delays and things can happen.
I'm guilty of that. I've actually recently changed my site to where all my group buy products are in a category where they say pre-order with a watermark across the product image, and when you, instead of adding to cart, it actually says pre-order. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I mean, things happen though. I mean, it is what it is. People make honest mistakes. I'm happy to correct them. I don't judge people. I don't like when people come at me with an attitude about customer service, though. I don't know. I'm not Amazon. I'm not. I don't have a million people in the warehouse. It's mostly me doing everything. So I do the best I can. People start yelling at me. I tend to take it personally.
Yeah, I actually just recently had a very similar conversation with someone the other day, and it's something that I'm kind of passionate about too. Like, for better or worse, that we, even though it seems like our community is big and it's much larger than it has been in the past, because obviously we have seen a lot of growth here. But we got to keep in mind that vendors, like you at the Key Company, like Mike at NovelKeys, a lot of these people are just doing 1 or 2 man operations, and trying to make a successful business. Like you said, you're not Amazon, you're not a big corporate entity that just freaking towers over everything and can fix all mistakes because money is irrelevant and products are always on their doorstep. Like, it's a big deal, and like we have to accept the bad with the good, and we have to realize that there are good people doing good work here, and sometimes things take a little bit more time, and sometimes things take a turn for the worst. But like, the idea is that our community is still so small in the grand scheme of things, so freaking niche, that like we have to just support the good people like you in the community and just try to build this up from the ground up, so we can get to that later stage where things can just be really in stock and things can be really quick, and you always you get refunds instantly and money's not as much of an issue and things like that. But smaller vendors, like pretty much everyone in the keyboard community that are doing this, like they can't really often afford to just take the hit on everything ever. Like, it's just not feasible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't, and especially too, when you try to serve the international market, you open up a whole bunch of new challenges. Like, for example, if say you buy something from me, Quake, and you're like, hey man, this thing sucks, give me my money back. Then I'll just email you a label, and you can slap it on there and just send it back to me, and we're a done deal. Now if Jay does it, now I'm screwed. I can't print a shipping label that will ship from UK. He has to actually physically go and ship it himself.
Send it, yeah.
Yeah, and that pisses people off, and it's expensive. I mean, that's one thing I never, ever hear the belly aching stop about is shipping costs. Like, look, you live in Singapore, I live in Michigan. If it costs $20 to ship a package to you and it takes a week, I'm sorry if you think that's too much. I am terribly sorry, but that's how much it costs.
That's actually pretty good as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I had a guy just go off on Reddit. Like, that's all. I only paid $10 for mass drops. You didn't. You didn't pay $10 to ship anything from mass drop to Singapore. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, and if you did, it's because it was already included secretly in the price of the actual product.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't know, or they don't realize, they don't even attempt to try to find out a lot of the back end stuff that goes on, and there is a lot of it. There's a lot of it.
I'll tell you, man, I've worked very hard with every big carrier. I worked with FedEx, UPS, DHL, all of them, in an effort to try to make international shipping cheaper for everyone to use. And no matter what happens, the post office wins every freaking time. The only time it ever worked out for me was DHL gave me some killer rates. And what happened was the DHL rep was just trying to pump up his account numbers to get a promotion. As soon as this guy got promoted, and this was in the middle of Led Zeppelin, I had I don't know how many orders I had to ship. My rates went up 400%. So something that was going to cost me $30 a ship, it's going to cost me $100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, I'm trying my best. One of the things I almost did was switch completely to UPS exclusively, which would have cost everyone a little bit more on the domestic, but would have allowed me to offer a little cheaper international shipping options, and then would have brought my import costs down.
Sure.
But I decided that just based on percentages, I have so many domestic customers versus international, it doesn't make sense. So the rates are there though, available. I'm making UPS available to international customers. Spend a little more money to get their service, is a little more white glove than the postal service is. So you high rollers over there in Europe, if you want to use UPS, you can do it now.
Cool. That's good to know. That's good to know. One of the things that Brian said earlier on kind of leads me on to another question. So at the minute, the community is quite small, and vendors like yourself and Mike at NovelKeys and other people, it's kind of one-man, two-man shows, and sometimes it's even done in spare time. It's not done as a main job. People have their jobs and they do this kind of in their spare time. As the community grows, how do you see the whole vendor relationship with the community growing as they get bigger, and you get towards a sort of not the Amazon sort of size, but that kind of medium business size? How do you see that growth changing how you do business?
Well, I mean, I think what's going to maybe end up happening, what you'll see more of, is I think you're going to see some companies are going to turn more into more of a distribution outlet rather than like a company like mine where I'm conceptualizing ideas, or I'm getting ideas from other people and we're putting them together and putting them in a product. Where your companies that act as proxies mainly, they're more like a distributor, for example. Like
Sure.
So people send them their ideas and they sell it, they get it, they ship it. I think we're gonna start seeing some bigger conglomerates like that, like mass drop kind of competition going on. I think that maybe is the direction that things will eventually start going.
Okay.
Because like we said before, people don't want to trust a no-name person with their money, and those people may need support too. Like, not somebody who wants to run a group by once a year isn't going to spend money on Zendesk station and spend the time to get distribution rates from UPS and things like that. So to me, that makes sense. I think you might see more of that. And then too, another thing, it's like when companies get really big, they start to kind of lose touch. And that's what makes this thing so special that we have, is that the vendors are so in touch with the buyers.
Sure.
I'm here talking with you guys. I watch the show. I through Keycap and read interest checks and just the people talking, things like that. You guys stay in touch. You can't just start coming out of the woodwork with just wild, crazy crap or selling stuff that people don't want. So
yeah,
you don't want to get too big. So I think if somebody does get really big, like Amazonian, it'll be a distribution network versus an actual company. That's
okay.
my opinion. But we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think like some companies such as the mass drop sites, do you think they have already lost touch with the community, or do you think they're working on it, or?
I think it's a delicate thing for mass drop. So, and I recently worked with them on a couple of projects, and it was my first experience working with them as vendor. And they're a great big company. I mean, they're huge. I must have talked to a dozen people just to get a PO for the keyboards we sold.
Sure.
But they do have people on staff that are dedicated to each one of their communities that they serve. And I think from someone's eyes, like from maybe your eyes or my eyes, we see some of the products offer in the NovelKeys category as out of touch or something that we're not interested in. But at the same time, they're not only serving our interest group, they're serving a larger interest group of people who may just randomly dabble in these types of things rather than dedicate their basement to it. Like you got your wall back there, things like that.
Yeah.
That's hardcore users. So and they have to serve both. So I think they're pretty well in touch. I mean, they can't get their hands on everything, and some of the stuff they sell is really good. Some of their designers are really good. Some of their stuff, it's a little lower end that maybe not interesting to me, but to someone else. I mean, who doesn't want $200 for keycaps? Are you out of your mind? Gamers, those people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's just kind of my take on it.
Okay, but before we move on, I'm going to have you do one thing for me, Jason. I need you to go into your Discord, and in the bottom left, I need you to go to your user settings.
Yeah.
And then go to the voice and video section. And you should have a little bit of a noise gate. They call it input sensitivity.
You need higher?
I need you to turn it down to probably minus 70 decibel. You clip a lot at the beginning and end of some words and sentences, and I think that's just a Discord thing going on right now. So if you drop that to about minus 65 decibel or something on that slider in Discord, it should be totally fine from there.
Is that looking better? Sounding better?
Yeah, so far it sounds a little bit cleaner. It just kind of opens it up so it doesn't... It's a voice sensitivity thing, so if you don't enunciate properly, it might not pick it up normally. So if you lower that, it kind of counters that problem.
Okay. How are we doing now? Good?
You're a little quieter... Wait, hold on. Did you adjust your audio
volume has gone down, yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Up in the same menu, in the top right for your output... or your output volume or your input volume and stuff, raise those up so we can hear you a little bit better. We'll do.
Don't have an input. Oh, it's.
Oh, that's better.
There we go. Much better already. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, how are we now?
Okay, that's pretty good. What do you have your input sensitivity slider set to, real quick?
Minus 70.
Okay, so that should be good. You can even turn that all the way off. Actually, it might even be the best option. Just turn it all the way down, and we shouldn't have any kind of clipping from it.
How are we doing now?
Okay, that's so far that's quite a bit better,
really
but we'll see. Cool. We'll see. Yeah, sorry for that interruption, guys. I just didn't want to Yeah,
Yeah,
I should have said something earlier, but we were kind of in the heat of discussion.
In the throw of the conversation.
Yeah, in the soundtrack you sounded fine. That's why I was like, what is going on now? And I was trying to figure out if it was something on my end, but I realized it was probably just Discord.
I'm getting tired, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good.
No, it's all good. All good, man. Just a quick shout out to Talisman Solutions as well with the tier 1 sub gifting to Xenophobia. So thank you very much, Talisman. We really appreciate the support.
As far as JTM83 and the Raging Asian earlier with their Twitch Prime and tier 1 subs as well. So thank you very much, guys, for that.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Anyways, now that we're back in action, where were we? What were we talking about?
Vendor growth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be nice, though. I mean, the larger the community gets, the cheaper everything gets, too, because we can buy in bigger numbers. That's something that really kills us.
Yeah. And that's what we're seeing a lot in the ISO issues that we've been having lately that Jay knows so much about.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I gotta poke my Valentine a little bit. So, anyways, trying to get a little bit back on topic here. I do want to kind of get your thoughts on the kind of community as a whole. So I was curious, in the same vein, kind of the question I asked you earlier. What is kind of your favorite and least favorite things just about the entirety of our community, of the keyboard community as a whole?
Favorite things for me, what I like about it is I never really had a group of people I fit in with. Like I don't really watch a lot of sports, you know. So like when you get together for like a family get together, everyone's talking about football, and I'm just like, yeah, it's great.
Same.
So I really enjoy going to meetups, just talking with like-minded people. I mean, and the conversation doesn't usually stay on keyboards for very long, which is, I mean, it's not really what you'd expect. I've made some really great friends in this community all over the world. Just good people. It's just funny because the one thing that brought us together is like the thing we use to communicate with.
Yeah.
But yeah, great people. I love it. You know, another thing too, like we ran that raffle a couple weeks ago for my friend the Chief, and the responses were just wonderful. I mean, not just people buying raffle tickets, but just the comments, the things that people were saying. Just like it brought out really good side in people, which really meant a lot to me. I really appreciate everybody that joined in and participated in that. So yeah, great people, you know, fun. Now on the flip mode, the circle jerk stuff kind of pisses me off. Like you get people that'll like you'll post an IC and some of us want to come right out and just start whining about something right off the rip that doesn't even matter. I see it a lot too because like the longer you do this something, the more you kind of pick out patterns, and it's always the same people that want to nitpick and like they look for mistakes and just want to call them out immediately. It's like I don't think they ever have any intentions of buying anything. They're just trolling and looking for something to do and, you know, act smarter than you or better than you or something like that. That kind of stuff gets kind of old and tedious, but I mean, that's probably any community. That's just life.
Yeah.
There's really nothing bad about the keyboard community. I mean, it's just expensive. It's one big negative, right?
True. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've always felt too. I always say that the best and the worst thing in this community is the people.
True.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like you can get ridiculous support for something that like doesn't even involve them. Like you just put up a raffle, and like it's like it was amazing, like you said, and then like on Keycap threads or like this community is also very cliquey. No pun intended there. But so there's a lot of like you said, circle jerks and a lot of cliques that are kind of just like people will just kind of get together and attack on something just because they want to or just because they want to cause drama. People feel the need for drama in the community. They want something to hate. They want something to despise. They want something to go wrong, so it makes things more interesting. And some people kind of just like manufacture drama themselves just to do that, or they inflate something that isn't really that much of a problem to begin with.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, that's anything though, right? I mean, isn't that just people in general? I mean, that's why they have talk shows. I mean, not talk shows like this. I mean, talk shows like the ones on daytime TV where people are yelling at each other.
We'll get there, damn it.
Yeah.
We're almost there. We're like a couple viewers away.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think now's probably as good a time as ever to move into a little Q&A. So I saw some people had questions earlier, but go ahead and reiterate those in the chat, you guys. Make sure you use the @TopClack tag. You can ask questions of us or Jason, of course, our guest, or all of us, whether they're keyboard or not. So make sure to get those questions in now so we can get to them.
You guys gonna read them to me?
Yeah,
we'll read them out. We'll read them out. And just before we do, actually, one question I have for you as well, Jason, is what group buys are you looking forward to joining this year? Is there anything particular, maybe not that's running on your store, that's running somewhere else that you're interested in joining? Anything that you see coming up?
That I missed that I'm actually kind of bummed about. I really wish I would have picked up an F62 PE.
Okay, yep.
I'm maybe about to buy one secondhand. We'll see how that goes. Every time I see a picture of the TGR Alice, I kick myself in the foot for that one too.
Same.
I don't very often buy really expensive keyboards. The last one I got super excited about was that mini. It looked like a mini Dolch pack. I can't think of the name of it right now. I get lost with acronyms and numbers.
Oh, the Dolch CR.
Dolch CR.
Yeah, I bought that. I love that thing. And then everything Switch Plate does, I really like those guys. I like that. I bought that Southpaw, the full size one.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
I love it. I wish I got a Lunar. I just can't pony up for the B stock just yet. But those are some things I really liked. I don't go crazy over the. I mean, I'm not want to try to dog on anybody. I'm like, I don't really want to buy the Zeal keyboard. It's just too expensive. I like it, but I think it's just too much. You know. I don't know. I guess I got to look more at the ICs. There was one that I was really looking forward to, and it's just not the tip of my tongue right now. I guess I'm just kind of crashing out. I've been sick for like 2 weeks. I don't know if did I mention that to you guys?
Yeah.
I think we've all had it. Brian's
I've been sick on and off for like the last month. It's been ridiculous. I don't understand.
I got both flus. I got influenza A and B at the same time, and then as soon as I started feeling better, I got pneumonia, and I'm still on antibiotics. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I think we've all felt it. Yeah, it's that time of year for it. Horrible stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've got a couple of questions come through now. So the first one comes from Mr. Nathan Kim himself. He said,
Nathan Kim.
Yeah, so yeah, you united him. Yeah, you gave him a British knighthood. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Will TKC run more tangerines?
We've been talking about it. My contact in China that we work with Gateron, we've been talking about doing it. I just thought it would be a bad time to do right now with the competition from that IKEA Switch and all the stuff that Zeal's bringing out. I just thought maybe we should wait a little bit, especially with the Pandas too. Those just came out. I think everyone's linear drawer is full.
It's amazing actually, like how the community used to be so thirsty for tactile switches, and now linear is all the rage.
It's just really switched around.
Like in the last 3 or 4 years, everything is just flipped entirely.
I like linears. I'm not gonna lie.
Same.
I love them.
Yeah, linears are certainly my favorite genre.
It's like just fly.
Yeah, no, I was always a tactile guy, but recently, the past 6 months or so, I think pretty much everything I've built has moved over to linears.
Yeah.
I've actually got about 200 tangerines ready for a couple of builds, but I would be definitely interested in more of those, especially the black base ones. They're really nice.
Right on, man. Yeah, we'll probably roll some out probably summertime. I'm thinking. Don't hold me to it, but we've been talking about it. We want to bring them back. We got to get the pricing right, and we got to get enough. You have to buy a lot of them to make it work. And like I said, with all the recent ones, I thought it'd be better to kind of cool off. I almost was going to run a group buy on Cherry Silent Blacks. I don't know if you guys ever try those. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm not a silent switch fan, but I think, Brian, what do you think silent switches? You prefer them?
I'm not a big fan of the... generally speaking, I prefer non-silent switches to silent switches. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I don't really care for the stock Cherry silent switches. If I'm gonna use a silent switch on today's day and age, I'm just gonna use Helios. I think they're the best silent linear that you can get. They absolutely blow Cherry silence out of the water, in my opinion. But again, I'm also not an aficionado of silent switches. That's just kind of what I like.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. All right. A few people actually already have been asking about the Molly. So any information on what's going on there?
Well, I broke one.
Nice.
Oh, really?
I wish I had a rag or something to clean this with. This smudged a little bit, but this was the pink base bottom, and that's that dark nickel.
That looks really nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
It's actually electroplate. Look at that. It's like a mirror
Shiny
finish.
as hell. Yeah, it looks really good.
It's electroplated rather than
PVD.
PVD coated. It costs a bit more, and you have to use brass. I mean, like.
Oh wow. Yeah, it looks really good.
So this is a 24 karat gold. It's great. So what we did, we kind of pulled the plug on it for a little while because I wanted to change things up. I wasn't happy with how high in the case the USB was sitting.
Okay.
And I had a conversation with Wilba. It was my first interaction with him. And he suggested, hey, man, why don't you do like a breakout board and move?
Yeah.
I said, all right, that's cool. You know, it's a good idea. And he showed me a picture of the one Ramon he used. And damn it, I don't have one here. I wish I had one sitting with me. So what we went and did was we designed a USB hub. Blind Assassin put it together. This kid this is a whiz kid, this guy.
A prodigy, huh?
No, he is. This guy, he can do it. Anytime I ask him, like, hey, can you design this? He's like, yeah, I could do it. And then a couple hours later, you'll have something drawn up, and it's like, wow, how the... Anyways, so it's a USB hub, USB 3.0. So it's USB-C that you plug in with, because I know you guys have been riding my ass about USB-C, so here you go.
Oh, yeah.
But what's unique about what we're putting in the Molly is that you'll have a USB-C output to your computer, but you will have also a USB-A input, and it will function as a high-speed hub for data transfer as well as high-speed, high-amperage charging.
Okay.
I already discussed with John at Zap if he's able to make cables that will be able to do this, and we're good. So that's what you're going to see in the Molly. You're going to have USB-C connection, and you're going to have USB-A in, so you can charge your iPhone, you can or your Android, and you could plug in like a dongle and do high-speed data transfer right to your keyboard. So you only have to have one.
Sounds really good.
That sounds great, actually.
Yeah,
it sounds really good.
Why you got the space on your desk? Why not do it? So
yeah.
The PCB and the keyboard will connect to that hub via like a JSM connector or JST connector, and then you're done.
Cool. So okay, is there some kind of timeline on the Molly right now then?
It's not like a firm timeline, but basically right now we're doing the candy bar is going to come out next month. We're just finishing up the packaging on it, and then right after the candy bar, I want to start doing the Molly. So we're just we got the PCB prototypes. I have them working. Terry Matthews sent me the new firmware, and I went to go lift up the top and hit the button on the bottom, and I ripped the damn USB off. And I went downstairs to go solder it, and my furnace was leaking because the humidifier was clogged up with calcium, and I haven't. It's been a hell of a week.
Sounds fun.
Yeah,
quick question for me: Is that pink color going to be running the group buy? Because that pink color is awesome. I really like that.
Thank you. I actually color matched this to my favorite lipstick that my wife wears, and I use.
Oh wow! Okay, nice.
This lighting in here is dreadful, so I'm sorry this color doesn't. I wish you could see it in the dark. It looks just gorgeous, especially with the black adornment from the dark nickel.
Sure. Yeah. No, it looks really good. I'd love to see that color in the group buy.
Yeah, we'll definitely be making this one. Will be making an appearance for sure.
Very nice. All right, so you actually touched on the candy bar, which was Mountain Block's next question. You said about a month from now or so. So there you go. There's your answer on that.
I was actually hoping to have my prototype assembled to show you guys tonight. I have all the parts, except for some standoffs that I don't have from China yet. They're just M2 5mm standoffs.
Okay.
The 10mm ones I need, but I don't have the 5s and I don't have the screws. I ordered them forever ago and they're still not here, and there's no domestic suppliers. So as soon as I have those, I'll be able to slap one together and show you. It looks rad. We're doing some really cool packaging. I'm working with an industrial designer out of Mexico who I met on Upwork, and we're going to do something really neat with the packaging. I don't want to just throw in a Ziploc bag and ship it off. I want to make it look cool. So that's the hold up, and I apologize, but it's coming.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds really good.
All right. Yeah. That hand thing has two questions. One, is PBT Katakana the same menu as KP Republic Muted set? And two, why is there so little reverse die sub out there, and are we going to see more of it in the future?
Part one, yes, it's the same factory. They've sent me some of their samples. It is the same factory that makes almost everything that KP Republic sells. They've also made some DSA sets for Kono.
Okay.
I'm not at liberty to say the name of it, but I can say that much. Why is there not more reverse die sub? I have no idea. It's a great process. It's wonderful. The one issue with it, the one holdback, is that it's pretty high MOQs. So if you want to do with reverse die sub, you basically want your caps to be shot in the legend color.
Sure.
So that's why I did katakana the way I did, was where I could make 5 different sets out of the same base color. Well, in this case, it's 2. So you will see more of them for me this year. I'm going to try to do sneak a couple more in before the end of the year, and try to use that same methodology where we use one single base color to do a reverse set and then a standard die subset.
Yeah. In that same vein on that real quick, is it more expensive as well? Because I noticed that obviously your white on black reverse die subset is more expensive than your black on white.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do the percentages, but I mean, you get $65 for a standard die sub and then $90 for a reverse.
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly. Which I mean, yeah, it's still not expensive, but that delta is pretty huge there just for using the same colors and just in reverse order.
Yeah,
I think there's a couple of reasons for it. One is that you have to use there's a transfer film that they use. This isn't it. This is a bag. The better print you want to get, the higher quality transfer film they have to use. So you got the expense of that. You use a ton more ink, obviously, because you're dyeing the entire cap, right? And these, I don't know if you guys know about this stuff. They actually print it on a dye sublimation printer, which is kind of like a photo printer. So the ink's pretty expensive. And then the process itself too, I imagine it has a bigger window for error, so they probably have more
lower yield. Yeah, makes sense. It's interesting because reverse die sub was something that's been talked about a lot in the community over the past few years, and it's only really now in the past 6 to 12 months that we've seen decent quality reverse die subbing come out. Previously it was a lot more hazy than standard die subbing, and from what Brian showed me of the caps that you've got there, the prototypes, they look really, really crisp and clean, especially the pictures on the site as well, so it's impressive to see.
Oh no, actually, we have like 3 sets lined up. We're going to do Sanctuary's coming. We were going to run it with Key Creative, but I've waited a year for them to get their molds together, so I'm done. We're going to run them with this factory that's doing katakana.
Nice, okay.
That's going to be soon. And then there's another one coming up down the road I can't really say much about because it's not really there yet. And then I'm going to do another just kind of ambiguous set, kind of like katakana, where it's nothing wild and crazy and themed out, but just like some real simple colors that are real simple, minimalistic, clean, for everybody kind of thing. So
sure, sounds good. That actually answers Kairu's question. He said any updates on Sanctuary Rebirth. I know you said it's soon. Any teasers on the dates for that we can expect?
What I'm really hoping to do is we're running Skadata after this katakana set, and I'm really hoping to have it together for right after that. So it'll either be right after Skadata. If it's not ready in time, then we're going to run probably another set, maybe DSA Scientific, and then we'll run it after that. That's my goal, and I really want to get Classic Space going soon too, because we got some interesting things with that.
Yeah, that's the one that I've been looking forward to seeing, is Classic Space. It's a really good looking set. I actually had it up on my screen a minute ago. Yeah, I'm really keen to see that
for those color ships. Maybe longer, maybe 8 months. I don't know if there's. Did Cucumber put a picture of the color chips up yet?
There's been nothing on the thread for a little while that I've seen. Just the original picture, the original render. Yeah.
I sent a handful of Legos to the factory, and they finally sent me back everything, including translucent polycarbonate keys we're going to run.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you had them on the escape and the backspace, I think, if I remember rightly, in the render.
Yeah.
They're kind of translucent. They looked really good, but no, it's definitely a set that I'm interested in.
The plastic colors are just spot on. It was really worth the wait. And again, timelines are difficult because this is Key Creative. They've been very difficult with their timelines because they've been doing stuff outside of our stuff.
Sure.
Stuff that you're not seeing outside of China, and it's really bogging them down. So I'm hoping they kind of help me get this one going, because people waiting long enough,
Yeah, absolutely.
Upas actually has a fantastic question.
It's a good question, yeah.
What's the most important piece of advice you could give to a newer vendor?
There's a lot of it. Most important piece of advice. I don't want to answer this too quick and give you the wrong thing, but I mean, this advice, obviously, it's good. Is take customer service very seriously. People who are sending you customer service emails are people sending you money. So find a way to organize and handle your customer service. Zendesk is a really good product. If not, you can even set up a ticket-based system in a Discord channel, but just have some way of managing your tickets. because if you lose track of somebody's issue, I mean, to you it's an email or just a message, but to them that's their money, their situation. You know, once you burn one person, it can just spread like a cancer. You got to take care of people.
That's great advice.
Yeah, it's really good advice. Yeah.
William S. Jones is asking you to provide your Discord server link, which if you could just post right there in the Twitch chat.
I actually meant to do that earlier. I'm sorry I didn't. Here, guys.
That's fine. As long as you're sorry, that's all that matters.
Oh, and just while you're doing that as well is Blind Assassin's watching as well. He's saying all the love, bless him. So he's actually watching as well.
Thank you very much.
Lots of love for all of us here on Valentine's Day. We can feel it. Mountain Blocks gives a tier 1 sub to William S. Jones even. So thank you very much for that gifted sub.
There, I sent that link to you
nice.
for you guys. It's brand new. I was going to talk about it earlier. That was a couple of the news things I was going to talk about, was that we were going to be rolling out a new website pretty soon, and that we opened a Discord channel.
Yeah, Discord is a big thing these days. It feels like a lot of any kind of entity in the community kind of has their own Discord nowadays.
Well, we even have a ticket-based system on there. My friend Gucci set it up. He's a whiz kid out of California. I said, "Hey man, can you set up a Discord channel?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And he had it done like an hour. And he has robots that do stuff, and there's tickets. It's free.
It's always good. It's always good.
Faza asking, for PBT Katakana Matcha, are those sub-legends going to be dark or light? In either way, just wondering, because it seemed like the render and sample pick didn't quite match.
Yeah, well, the sample pick wasn't really correct. The sample, they didn't do the alpha keys in the correct color, base color, because they didn't have it. They hadn't manufactured them. So it's going to be it's going to be Pantone Cool Gray 1, which is a very, very slight gray. It's like your old OG Cherry double shot gray. It's very light.
Okay, yep.
And the sub legends will be green, like the modifiers, and the main legends will be black.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
I'll put a note on the page. I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you. I realized that there is a little bit of confusion over some of the products with that set and the variants because of the way the samples were created.
Yeah. Okay, that hand thing comes up with a question again. It says, sorry to bug you with all the factory questions, but is this the same producer as Green Train? That set was very nice for the money. So Green Train was a set run by KBD fans a little while back.
Yes, this is the same factory that made Green Train.
All right, there you go. The Sweaty Yeti donates 250 bits also, so thank you very much for that, my friend.
I have this other sample these guys made. I wish I had it up here with me. I should have been a little more better prepared. It's actually like a camouflage key set. It's freaking awesome looking. And I've never seen anyone with it, and I wish I had it with me right now to show you guys. I'll put a picture.
Oh, that would be cool.
Put a picture on Instagram tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Definitely want to see that.
Dixie Mech tags us. He doesn't have a question, but he does say that since we were talking about advice for newer vendors, he chimes in with his advice: don't overpromise on timelines. Add time for a fusion.
Always.
Or cushion is what he meant to say. Yeah, fusion doesn't really make sense. Huh?
Yeah.
Always good call. If the factory tells you it's going to be March 1st, tell everybody it's going to be like May, because
yeah, absolutely. And UPass says, Top Clack, what build streams are slated for the near future? Have you got any planned, Brian?
I don't think. I mean, so I'm kind of in this weird spot where I have like nothing to really build, but I have all these like sweet NovelKeys switches that have like no home. That have like no home right now. So
you need to go shopping for some boards.
Well, I have like 4 boards on the way. It's just a matter of when the group buys actually ship. So I don't know. I might be desoldering something. I have nothing immediately planned, but I want to do something soon. I gotta get the creams in something. I gotta get the inks in something. Like I want to try these box pinks. I'll probably just throw this on a hot swap board just to try. Like I gotta try these switches out, man. So I'm gonna be putting them in something. It's just a matter of what and when. But I don't have a. What's up?
Want me to send you a candy bar?
Is the candy bar that like really long, like?
Yeah, it's the
3 by like 50 or whatever, basically.
No, it's not that big. It's like it's basically a 40 with a numpad.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks really cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool to see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to try anything. Whatever I can put switches in.
You can put it together while you're watching TV.
Oh, perfect. Well, I mean, the whole point is to have stream content at this point, stuff that I'm actually doing on stream for myself, like my own boards and stuff.
I could send you the old prototype that needs soldering. It won't work though.
I mean, hot swap is. We can talk about that later. Anyways, Faza donates 200 bits, so thank you very much for that, my friend.
To be honest, Quick, I could send you a keyboard to build. I have a bunch that need to be built, so if you want to just handle it for me, I mean.
Well, the problem is I have my own switches I got to use, so like I want. What? No, you're not getting these from me. I'm greedy. I want my inks and my creams and stuff. Mike sent me these personally. So I got boards coming. Jay obviously has a pretty concrete schedule now.
Yeah, so this week is going to be the Key Cult number 160 for Tronics. I'm building that for him this Sunday. Next Sunday, if the gaskets arrive, it's going to be the J01 build, which is my personal board. So we've got all the prototype for that. It's been CNC'd and everything else that's sat behind me now. So that's going to be the week after. The week after that, I think it's a Duck Viper, and the week after that is a Duck TCV3. So a couple of weeks of Duck builds, and that probably takes us over the next month. So yeah, lots coming, and that's just scratching the surface from my list at the minute. So yeah.
we can't all be cool like you, Jay.
I'm not that cool. I just spend too much money on keyboards.
Jeez.
Yeah. When's the J01 stream happening? People seem pretty hyped for that.
Yeah, it should be a week on Sunday. At the minute, I'm just waiting for the gaskets to be shipped. So Beep, who's been cutting those on his laser cutter for me, has confirmed that he should be posting them tomorrow. So if he gets those out, I think he's been having bad weather where he's based in the US. So
it's a little bit better now. We're not below freezing temps anymore, and we've been getting some rain, so the snow's actually starting to go away, thankfully.
Good. So as soon as he can get those posted out, then it'll be as soon as they arrive here. So everything else is here. The case is here. The plates are here. The PCBs are here. The breakout boards are here. Everything else is here. It's just that piece now. So Gio, as soon as we've got it built, we'll start to talk about whether we do another little round so you can get one as well.
Awesome. The Sweaty Yeti actually donating a lot more bits too, so thank you very much. He donates 350, and 50 of them were hearts that if you caught at the right time, you got to watch fall into the tip jar on stream. So that is adorable. Happy Valentine's Day to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, man. We really appreciate the support, dude.
Awesome. All right, so we'll close out here in just a couple minutes. We're trying to keep online for that 2-hour mark, so we don't go too far over for you guys. But we'll close out with one more question here. William S. Jones asking. Can you please provide the case colors for the upcoming candy bar?
For the premium.
I'm assuming that's what he means, because otherwise it's kind of like just like an FR4 kind of thing, right?
Well, yeah, the standard one's just black FR4. The premium colors, I had a couple ideas lined up. The problem is the factory that I've been using recently told me that after Chinese New Year was over, they were going to come back and they were going to only anodize in like a small selection of colors and not just let me pick Pantones anymore. So that's going to be an issue for me because I like you saw my pink. I like weird colors. I'm thinking you're going to probably see like a silver or like a dark gray, a black, and then a purple because everyone loves purple. Probably a pink. I probably won't do a green because green just never anodizes right. I don't know if you guys know this. And I'm still working with a place local to me that can do production level Cerakoting. And if I can get that pulled off, then that might be an option too.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I feel like Cerakoting is going to be kind of a bigger thing moving forward.
Yeah.
Well, the factory works out, man. It's not just like a guy with a gun shop. It's actually a factory. And
wow.
The production level stuff. So that what they have, I spoke to an applications engineer a few months ago. And they said they could do it, but I'd have to get like at least 150 keyboards. So with the price point in the candy bar, I don't think that'd be too hard to do. I mean, people are paying $300-400 for a Pearl. I don't think people are having a hard time paying $220 for a candy bar. So
yeah, it's kind of at that point, it's just more like layout preferences and like what people actually like.
Yeah,
right, and that gets tricky with the hot swaps. So we were able to shoot out a few options in there, but not too many. So
yeah, certainly. Mountain Blocks donates 333 bits. Thank you very much for that, my friend. Appreciate those.
Thank you, dude. Yep.
And that's gonna pretty much be a wrap for us for today, guys. So yeah, if you guys want to check out our stuff below the stream, we have a Discord link if you want to join our official server and hang out with us, do whatever, something for everyone there. We have our YouTube channel below that you can subscribe to. And make sure you, of course, check out more from Mike Concho here, Jason. You can check that out at thekey.company that I linked right there. So, Jason, thank you so much for coming on with us and talking to us and answering questions.
It's always fun chatting with you guys. Jay, it's nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, and you too, man. It's been really good to have you on the show, and thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah. So, any closing thoughts before we head out, gentlemen?
I wanted to mention, but
any shout outs or anything? You could say whatever you want, Jason.
Within reason.
Within Twitch's terms of service. Sorry.
I just wanted to mention that in the coming months, we're going to be rolling out a vintage shop, and we're going to be selling some really cool, hard to find vintage stuff that people will probably go crazy about.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
nice.
It's pretty fun.
Awesome.
Cool.
We'll definitely be on the lookout for that then.
Yeah,
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. So until then, sorry, go on.
Just one quick reminder. Yeah, guys, don't forget if you want to join the Securios, Resilios, or the Xeno group buy on Zeal, they do finish tonight at midnight US time. And if you do want to support us, use the affiliate link as well, guys.
Yep, absolutely. We definitely appreciate that. So until next time, we'll of course be back next week, same time, same place. Jay's got a build stream coming up on Sunday as usual. And until then, you can find us in the Discord hanging out. So
cool.
Thanks again, Jason, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Good talking to you.
Heck yeah. So catch you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a good rest of your night or morning, depending on where you are.